The 2017 Chevy Bolt EV went on sale last December, but only became available nationwide in August. Meanwhile, electric car shoppers waited eagerly for details of the 2018 Nissan Leaf, the second-generation car that finally premiered in early September. We've now driven both cars, and can take a high-level look at how they stack up against each other. Price and range. The two cars contrast most vividly in price and range ratings, with the Bolt EV's 60 kWh battery giving it 238 miles of range, 60% more than the Leaf's projected 150 miles from a 40 kWh pack. But the cost for that extra range is almost $7,000. The 2018 Leaf starts at $30,875, while this year's Bolt EV is priced at $37,500. Both prices include mandatory delivery fees, and various manufacturer incentives are likely available. Nissan suggests a starting price just over $30,000 will let far more buyers consider the new Leaf than the costlier Chevy, and it expects Leaf sales to double globally as a result. Next year, by the way, the company will launch a version of the 2019 Nissan Leaf that offers a larger 60 kWh battery, more power, and a higher price that will compete straight across with the Bolt EV. Design. Both cars are 5-door hatchbacks that, in silhouette, have more in common than you'd expect. While 4-door sedans would likely be slightly more aerodynamic, so-called C-segment hatchbacks are the world's most common vehicle segment, despite their lack of popularity in the US market. We admit we're somewhat used to the Bolt EV's looks by now, so the Leaf feels fresher. Its lines are a touch more exaggerated than the Bolt's, but neither car looks strange or bulbous, as the first-generation Leaf did. Inside, the 2018 Leaf interior conveys the message that this is a mass-market car, while the Bolt EV has considerably a more advanced touchscreen interface. The Bolt EV front seats, however, have come in for their share of criticism for being too narrow and thin, so you should test them yourself if you're thinking of buying. Performance and driving feel. Both cars are what you'd expect on the road, though the 150 kilowatt, 200 horsepower, Bolt EV is more powerful than the 110 kW, 147 horsepower, Leaf, making it quicker, which a driver can feel. Each now offers one-pedal driving, with the Leaf's a bit softer and more gentle in its transitions than the Bolt EV, although the Chevy offers a rig and paddle drivers can use to slow the car when it's in its default mode, a feature Nissan hasn't provided. With battery weight under the floor, each car feels stable and planted, but we give the nod to the Bolt EV's steering feel. The Leaf remains a little numb in comparison, though it's less appliance-like than its predecessor in that respect. Features. You can look through the reviews linked above for a full listing of features in each car, but a couple of points stand out. The Bolt EV inexplicably doesn't offer adaptive cruise control. Engineers told us its fast development cycle simply precluded that, so we'd expect it to show up down the line. The Leaf, on the other hand, has 3 different types of cruise control, the top level being Nissan's Pro Pilot Assist, which adds active lane control to adaptive cruise, providing it with what's defined as Level 2 autonomy. Both offer Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, but a conventional navigation system remains an option in the Leaf, whereas the Bolt EV offers navigation solely through a connected smartphone. Charging networks. The Leaf has a 6.6 kilowatt onboard charger, while the Bolt is 7.2 kW. Both use the standard plug, but their DC fast charging options differ. The 2018 Leaf continues with the 50 kW CHAdeMO system used in Japan, while the Bolt EV offers a 50 kW combined charging system port. While CCS stations were considerably sparser than CHAdeMO sites in earlier years, the gap is closing fast and most public fast charging sites now offer both.
This is what the next Subaru WRX could look like, and we're not complaining. The divisive, but devastatingly capable, car is soon up for retirement, and its replacement is looking like a handsome beast, if it follows this example. Subaru has released just a couple of teaser shots ahead of a Visiv Performance Concept's debut at the Tokyo Motor Show next month. We've seen this style of grille and front end before, but here, in a coupe body, it looks even more promising. In the second teaser shot we can see huge, Nissan GT-RS rear wheel arches that curve up into what looks like a neat boot lip spoiler. We like. It's almost certainly a preview of the next version of the hot all-wheel drive supercar chaser, and if the outstanding talents of the current one are anything to go by, its replacement should be a hell of a thing not just to drive, but to look at as well.
With the world going gaga over SUVs and crossovers, the Japanese brand is well positioned to feed the need with its Forester, Outback and XP ranges, and it's the smallest of these, the XP, that was recently launched here in its newest incarnation. Essentially an adventurous version of the new Impreza, also recently launched here in sedan form, the second-generation XP touched down in July just a few months after its world debut at the Geneva Motor Show, armed with better-than-average gravel-munching ability. The full-time all-wheel drive gives it optimized traction on loose or slippery surfaces. The car also has an X mode that adjusts the AWD and brakes for off-road driving and automatically activates the hill descent control when necessary. HDC can be manually activated by the driver if desired. This, combined with a very tall 220mm ground clearance, ensures the XP can tackle rougher trails than the average soft-roader, even though it's not a full-blown off-road vehicle for Okavango-type expeditions. At the same time, Subaru has improved the second-generation XP's on-road agility by dropping the center of gravity without reducing ground clearance, claiming body roll is reduced by a massive 50%. To give it a more nimble feel, the steering's also been made more direct. The final factor in the new XP's nimblification is that it's lighter than its predecessor despite being slightly larger, thanks mainly to the engine and gearbox shedding around 20 kilograms. I can't necessarily vouch for its body roll being halved over the previous model, but the handling's what you'd expect from a modern crossover. Neat and neutral and not excessively top-heavy. I was more impressed by the cushy ride quality, and the XP filters out bumps very proficiently, suggesting it will make a very comfy long-distance car. Unlike the overtly sports-oriented rubber on some crossover vehicles, this Subaru has high-profile tires that happily glide over the uneven surfaces that adventure vehicles are meant for. The engine's the same as before, a normally aspirated petrol flat-4 with outputs of 115 kilowatts, up 5 kilowatts over the old XP, and 196 Nm, unchanged, feeding the all-wheel drive system via a continuously variable transmission that Subaru calls Lineartronic. The XP cruises comfortably and has no trouble maintaining the speed limit and more, but there's no excitement and the car could use a bit more overtaking poke. CVTs have become fashionable to criticize, but I didn't hate the transmission. It operated smoothly and unobtrusively in regular urban driving, and Subaru has programmed in a 7-step manual mode to make it feel more like a conventional gearbox, although when you put foot it sends the revs skywards and makes that typical CVT drone. But those raised revs didn't seem to harm the fuel economy, with our test car averaging a decent 8.1 liters per 100 kilometers. The general rev levels are good, and apart from that sometimes droning engine, there are no unwanted noises. There are two versions of this Subaru, a standard model selling for R385,000 and an ES derivative for R439,000, which comes stacked to the hilt with features. There's a lot of safety packed into this car, including the new eyesight system, the first on a Subaru, which employs a set of cameras that scan the road for pedestrians, cyclists and other possible hazards at up to 110 meters. The car will automatically brake if it spots a hazard the driver hasn't, either when driving forward or reversing, and eyesight also includes adaptive cruise control and a lane keeping assistance monitor. Adaptive headlights, auto high beam, 7 airbags, blind spot detection and rear cross traffic alert complete a very well stacked safety list. The interiors come a long way from earlier Subarus, which were notoriously plasticky. This cabin radiates a lot of class with its upscale materials and neat finishes, while the orange stitching gives a touch of styling playfulness to the black leather seats. Subaru's interior stylists are doing a fine job. The XP has all the latest infotainment with a large touchscreen in various ways, USB and Bluetooth, to connect your external devices, and it has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto functionality for when this app becomes available in SA. The cabin's nice and roomy, and 4 adults will fit without feeling too snug. Boot size is quoted at a rather mediocre 310 liters, but it subjectively seemed larger than that and was able to swallow a fair amount of luggage, and also a mountain bike when the seats were flipped down. Verdict: it could do with more poke, such as the WRX's 197 kilowatts turbo engine, but Subaru's versatile XP has a great cabin vibe, a ton of features, great safety, and multi-terrain ability. It's also competitively priced, being cheaper than some 2WD rivals. It comes with a 5-year/150,000 km warranty and 3-year/75,000 km service plan.